I'm Jakub.
I'm Yuri.
And we're going for a drive.
...2019 Honda Passport.
Touring, top trim.
So the Passport is back. It used to exist.
Yeah, and I'm not going to pretend that I knew it existed before today.
It was a rebadged Isuzu.
Yes, it was, apparently.
I think they just got a cool name with Passport, and they're like, we got to put something out there because a Passport can take you everywhere.
Yeah, and they're going with these like pilot names, like airport names. So it's kind of like this theme that they're going with.
So where does it fit in the Honda lineup?
So it's bigger than the CR-V, and it kind of slots between the Ridgeline and the Pilot in terms of the way it drives and its size.
So Pilot's the biggest.
Yes, it is. It's a 3-row.
And this is a Pilot that is shorter, but a 2-row.
Yes, and also taller.
But the same wheelbase.
Correct.
Okay, so that's where it slots in, and it's meant to compete with like the Murano.
Yeah, the Ford Edge, and kind of even the Jeep Grand Cherokee.
We're gonna get into looks right away, but first horsepower and torque.
280 horsepower and 262 pound-feet of torque from a 3.5 liter V6, and I feel like I have those numbers memorized from the Pilot.
I'm gonna put you into sport mode, and you are going to floor it, so VTEC.
Full send.
Okay.
Right off the bat, it sounds great.
But it did slip up a bit because we are at Mont-Tremblant in Quebec.
Yes, Honda did invite us to Quebec to drive this.
They put us on some actual snowy roads because this is the off-road model.
Exactly.
So let's lead that into looks. What makes this more off-roady?
So there's a number of things. First of all, like Yuri said, it's shorter overall. So there's actually less overhangs. So if you look at the front bumper of the Pilot versus the Passport has slightly shorter bumpers, so you get better approach and departure angles for off-roading.
What I noticed right away, we've got plastic cladding, and then we've got a matte front end.
Yes, we do.
It's like way more black, so it looks different. It's got none of that chrome stuff that all the other Hondas have.
That doesn't help it off-road though.
No, but it makes it look more off-roady.
Yes.
Like here's a comparison of it next to the Pilot, and it looks so much cooler. Sure, this is maybe the lifted one right now.
Yeah, so this is also 1 inch taller, so that also helps it with off-roading.
But this one that we're filming right now has a lot of extra accessories. Let's get that out there.
Yes, a ton of them.
So this trip, we've got a whole bunch of burgundy ones, but this white one's gonna film a lot cooler. That's why we're doing it, and it's got more accessories on it, which you can buy.
Exactly, you can buy all of these through the Honda dealership, I think, except the matte white wrap.
Yeah, so it's a white wrap, we've got burgundy pillars, but I just love the way it looks.
It looks pretty cool. I really do like it. I think it looks a lot better than the Pilot.
And the headlights, taillights, everything else is very similar to the Pilot.
Yeah, very, very similar.
But one thing I really like is how there's like a disconnected roof. It's almost a floating roof design, but not really.
Yeah, almost.
It's just like one line.
Yeah, and you also get the roof bars standard.
Yes, because they want you to do adventures.
Off-road, yeah. Off-roady things, adventurous things.
Make it your passport to exploring everything, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
It's a good name. It's honestly a good name.
Well, there's the Pilot, the Passport. They're probably going to come out with like the carry-on or something like that.
The bus pass.
They're going to change the HRV to the carry-on.
Yeah.
And then what's the CRV? The CRV will be the check bag.
Yeah.
They're going to come out with like a 7-row. It's going to be the Honda Airport.
The Honda Airport.
And since this is the top trim, we do have black wheels, and they look really nice.
It does look good.
Yeah, like they kind of look like Winters, but I like it because this is an off-roady car.
And what is the Continental recommended tire for this car?
Viking Contact 7s for the winter. So overall, do you think this is the best looking SUV that Honda makes?
Right now, yes, but we did see the HRV that they brought out for this trip, and it had like a full body kit on it. It looked a lot cooler than the old one.
Yes, but I don't think it looks the best overall, but way better.
Yeah, I think it's because all the headlights, all the grille and everything is black, so you get this like cool Honda front end outline that the white Type R has.
And it looks like more of a car than an SUV because there's so much more actual like body colored trim.
Yeah, no, it's definitely the best looking Honda one.
Yeah, this one, the Passport.
Yes.
So this does have the same drive modes as the Pilot, so we have drive and sport for the transmission. And if you put it in sport, you can use the paddles, and if you put it in drive, you can also use the paddles, but then it'll default back to drive.
And then we have an eco button as well.
Yes, we do,
so
just like every other Honda.
That pretty much totally mutes your throttle, which is kind of sketchy when you're going around like blind corners. There's roundabouts here in Quebec that we can't see past. You really got to put your foot down.
Yeah, so I like to sit and drive or even sport. And then we also have some kind of off-road mode. So if we hit this button over here, we have normal, snow, mud, and sand. And this is all-wheel drive, so this is Honda's torque vectoring system.
You can't get this in non-all-wheel drive.
Not in Canada. So this is really good. We've always liked Honda's all-wheel drive systems and the Acura ones as well, the SH all-wheel drive. This is very, very good.
I can see on your all-wheel drive system that there was no power going to the back right one.
Yeah, so...
Because we were taking a right turn, with some slush everywhere.
Exactly. So it's sending power to the appropriate side, which in that corner was the left side.
And I guess we should probably address how bumpy it is on these roads.
Yeah, so these are pretty bad roads, and you can definitely feel it through the car. So on a normal road, I think it would be fine, but on these roads, you can definitely feel the bumps in the suspension. You're gonna get...
Whoa! We can beep that out. That's a good bump. It took it pretty hard. Yo, okay, it is off-roady.
Yeah, it is. But overall, I think the suspension might be a little bit softer than the Pilot. Maybe a little bit.
They said they changed the tuning of it.
Yeah, so maybe a little bit, but not that noticeable. So if you've ever driven a Pilot, it's pretty much the same.
It's pretty much exactly the same.
Yeah, and the steering is really light. It's exactly what you want in an SUV. So if you've liked the Pilot, if you've ever driven the Pilot, you'll like this.
And what I also did notice was the lane keep wasn't acting as good as it did in the Pilot. I don't know if because it was like snow on the road or different weather stuff, but something seemed a little off in this one.
Yeah, so it does have Honda sensing, so it does have adaptive cruise and all that stuff, but I agree with Yuri.
And it does have like collision warning, like it popped up by mistake once when a big rig was passing by us.
Yeah, on the other side.
But it's nice to know that it works.
Exactly. And it is the exact same 9-speed auto transmission as the Pilot, and it shifts relatively quickly, except when you're like really sending it, it's kind of slow on upshifts.
Yeah, it's not race car transmission.
No. And if you're an off-roady type person, you probably want to tow some stuff. This can tow up to 5,000 pounds when you have a dealer-installed accessory. If you don't have that accessory, you can tow up to 3,500 pounds.
And all that is a transmission cooler, I think.
Yeah, something like that. And some kind of trailer hitch or whatever.
And here's a clip from their promo video of James Hinchcliffe towing some big stuff behind it.
Yo, shout out James Hinchcliffe.
Yeah, we gave him a signed autograph before his race and he didn't win, so
yeah.
We're not going to be doing that anymore.
And James approved of my beard, so I'm very proud of that.
On Instagram?
Yeah.
TheStraightPipes, Yuri Tershin.
Follow us.
Follow us because we're going to be doing cool adventures on these trips that may not make it to this video.
Yeah.
Like curling.
Back to the video. And in terms of the overall suspension, it's very comfortable. A little bit of body roll, I think a little bit more than the Pilot. So basically with all that driving stuff out of the way, let's get Yuri in the driver's seat to talk about the infotainment.
Yeah, and other stuff. Now I remember what I like about sitting in the driver's seat. Armrests.
Yeah, the armrests are so good.
I love armrests. And it's cool because then you don't need to have this section too tall. And you can have this nice big slide back with a cool pattern to put a whole bunch of stuff down there.
Yeah, it's huge.
Then we've got our cup holders, which are going to be the exact same as the Pilot. I don't remember if they passed or failed, but I assume passed.
I think these are very borderline.
And when I was getting in, we've got these cool side steps that say Pilot on them.
Yeah, those are super cool.
Say passport on them. Visor test time.
Yeah, let's get that out of the way.
3, 2, 1.
Full pass.
And we knew that because earlier the sun was in my eyes and I needed to extend it to see.
And you asked me for permission, and you didn't get it, but you did it anyways.
Yes, that's the reason we do the visor test. Because a lot of people ask, like, what is the visor test? That's the visor test.
The sun's in your eyes. Just get it out of your eyes. That's it.
So, back to the inside. We have the alright infotainment. We don't have the cool Accord infotainment. So we have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, rewinding satellite radio stations.
But we have a volume knob, no tuning knob.
And we don't have hard buttons on the side. But I did talk to one of the Honda guys, and he said, everybody's been saying how much they like the Accord infotainment over everything else, so they're going to be working on getting that into other cars.
Yeah, we've been saying that nonstop. In every other review, we just keep referencing the Accord infotainment for every Honda. Just put that in everything, and then they're golden.
So that's very promising. But then back to other entertainment stuff, you know what we don't have in here that we do in the Pilot?
An entertainment system for the rear.
We don't have that TV thing here.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you did have kids, it would be a total bummer to not have that.
However, if you had larger children, maybe they're teenagers or something like that, there's actually more leg room in the back here than there is in the Pilot because there's no third row.
Yeah, and I guess teenagers aren't going to be wanting to watch like kid shows or Blu-rays. They're just going to be on their phone anyways.
Exactly. So there's actually USB ports for those children, teenagers, whatever.
Brats.
Yeah. And since this is the top trim, we do have heated and cooled seats. And I believe in all trims, we have gloss black everywhere. It's really frustrating. It's everywhere. I can't stand it. Just please stop doing that.
That's the next complaint that we're going to solve for Honda stuff.
Exactly. Hey, my new thing is gloss gray. Gloss gray is okay.
Okay, I'm all right with that. Gloss gray is okay. We get you a billboard.
Yeah, hashtag gloss gray is okay.
For when you run for president of the automotive industry.
That's right.
Okay, now we get back to our climate stuff. hard buttons for everything, super easy to use, and we've got a wireless charger.
Yes, we do, which is great for my Android phone.
Not great for my old iPhone.
The seats are also very, very comfortable.
Do they say Passport?
No, they don't.
Oh, bummer.
They should. They'll probably wait for the black edition just to say black edition.
Okay, yeah,
next
that's
year,
cool.
2 years.
So this one does not have a head-up display.
No, it does not.
The Pilot didn't either.
No, it didn't.
But we've got blind spot monitoring right here. It'll pop up nice and yellow, so that's very nice. And we've got little windows here, so it's nice to see through the A-pillars. Lots of visibility.
Visibility is great. Driving position is great. Nice and tall. It's kind of what you want without being too tall.
Yeah, no, there's no awkwardness in it.
Yeah, there's no Edge ST feeling where you're like on top of the car.
And we'd love to box test this, but we are on a trip, so we can't bring 20 boxes with us on an airplane.
No, we can't.
But it's got a lot of room back there, more than the Pilot.
More than the Pilot with the seats up. So the Pilot with the seats down would have more room.
Because it's 3-row.
Exactly.
And then underneath there, we've got a bunch of other little compartments, which are kind of cool.
Yeah, so hidden little compartments for all your like wet gear. And it is a power trunk, which is also nice.
And the gauges are pretty much exactly the same as the Pilot.
Yeah, we do have the torque vectoring that you can see, which is awesome.
I do like it a lot. I think it's a very good gauge layout.
Yeah, very simple, no lag, love it.
Okay, so I guess we can get to the price now.
This starts at $41,990 for the Sport and goes all the way up to $48,990 for the Touring, which is what we're in.
Canadian.
That's right.
So this actually has a higher starting price than the Pilot.
Yes, but the Pilot is actually a lower trim.
So if you look at that and you're like, why does it start at a different price? That's why.
Yeah, so if you looked at a comparable Pilot, so Touring to Touring, it's actually $52,500 for the Pilot. So if you don't need that third row, get this.
And if you want it to look cooler, get this instead. And if you have older kids, get this.
And if you go off-road, get this.
If you have younger kids, get the Pilot.
Yeah, get
with
the Pilot.
screen.
Exactly.
Or the Odyssey.
That's pretty much it.
I really like the Odyssey.
The Odyssey was great.
Okay, so let's compare this to the competition.
So the Ford Edge, I would take this, no question, over the Ford Edge.
Yeah, no question. We haven't driven the Murano yet, but assuming it's going to have the same infotainment as the Rogue.
Yeah, and it probably has a CVT.
I would take this as well.
Probably, yep.
What does this compare with for Toyota?
This would be bigger than a RAV4, but kind of like a 4Runner, but slightly smaller.
So you'd have to go probably 4Runner.
I would personally go 4Runner, but that's like ancient, which I kind
which
of
is
like.
cool.
Yeah.
So I mean, they got that going.
So if you don't like technology, go for the 4Runner, but if you do, obviously get this. And the Jeep Grand Cherokee is kind of one that's also close because of the off-road capability, but that one's like way more off-roady than this one.
Yeah, this is more family stuff.
Yeah, so if you're going to the cottage, this would be perfectly appropriate.
And if you're going through a drive-through zoo, this would also be great.
Drive-through zoo outro. Hey, buddy. Yo, subscribe. Yes.
Don't forget to hit the bell.
Yes. Oh, God.
I'm so sorry.
He's not giving up.
3, 2, 1. Perfect.
Passes. Check out patreon.com/TheStraightPipes, and there you go.
You looking for the new Cliche Corner shirt?
He's definitely looking for Teespring.
And you want a Straight Pipes logo shirt? I'm Yuri.
I'm Jacob.
And we're going for a drive. This is a subscription break. Don't forget to subscribe.
Subscribe right now. Subscribe. We didn't do that.